Hello and welcome to the Millie Fox Show. This podcast is for the woman who is a high achiever. She's a badass, hands down. Maybe she doesn't always feel like it, but she is focused so much on creating a life that is juicy and delicious, but for some reason it's just not feeling the way she wants it to feel. And that happens to all of us at some point. That's what you're here for. You are here to learn what the missing link is. And on this show, I talk about exactly that, whether it is through manifestation, through spirituality, through psychology, through whatever it is that we as women are dealing with that's going to help us feel more of the way that we want to feel. This is really about having a life that feels as good as it looks and becoming the woman that you actually want to be. Period. Hands down, full stop. So today, what I want to talk about is a hyper-fixation on self-improvement. Okay. This is what a lot of you probably have. It's like this hyper-vigilant self-monitoring where you are constantly asking yourself if you measure up. You are extremely self-aware, okay? You can name your patterns. You probably know a lot of the psychological terms for this and that. You're probably really well read, educated. You've listened to lots of podcasts, taken courses. You love the self-help book genre. And yet, you don't feel how you want to feel. And I get this because I have done this in the past to such a degree where it was actually one of the issues in my marriage that ended. Where I was constantly so focused on air quotes fixing myself that I couldn't be present in my life. I always had one of my AirPods in my ear. I was always on to the next course, the next spiritual healer, the next energetic body worker. You name it, I tried it. Past life regression, Reiki, hypnosis, whatever you can think of, I tried as a healing modality to try to fix what I thought was broken inside of myself. And we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this from a mindset of healing. We also need to talk about it from what we think is expansion, what we think is us becoming our next level self. Because when we are focused on the current version of us being not good enough, we are in a place of lack. We are in a place of scarcity. And I get it. We sometimes do things that we're not proud of. We act in ways that we are not proud of. We are reactive instead of able to slow down and respond. We don't always make the best choices, right? And there is a difference between shame and guilt that I need you to understand right now. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. And shame is what Brene Brown calls the swampland of the soul. We cannot shame ourselves into expansion. We cannot shame ourselves into healing. And sometimes we get so caught up in the things that we feel we need to fix because we believe that if the only thing we can control is ourselves, then damn, we better put ourselves under that microscope, under a lock and key, and make sure that we are behaving exactly how we should, air quotes again, be behaving in order to get the results that we want. Because any amount of uncertainty, any amount of not understanding all of the reasons at play that we may not have, okay, let's emphasize have the things that we want to have, we turn it back around on ourselves and we blame ourselves. Well, I don't have this because I'm not good enough for it. So I better become good enough for it. Right? And it's like the logic does kind of line up if you put it in an ABCD kind of fashion, but we do not live in a linear existence. We live in a quantum existence. And I know that's such a fluffy word to use, but quantum is actually not fluffy. It's these crazy mechanics for how the world and the universe actually operate in ways we don't fully understand. We know that time is not truly real. We don't really understand how time works, but we know we've all agreed upon it. And so if we've all agreed upon it, then we all probably agreed that we should have this by, X date. And if we don't, then, oof, what are we doing wrong? You know? And it's really absolutely exhausting. And so for me, what I have been finding a whole lot more relief and solace in, and I got to tell you, relief is an incredible emotion to feel. Whenever you feel relief, you are moving in the right direction. So what I've been finding a lot of relief in is kind of this dark humor around the whole thing, where there's a lot of memes, around this. It's like my first spiritual awakening, and it's like this little fairy princess character. And then the second one is like my current spiritual awakening, and it's this like old woman smoking a cigarette. I've seen it be called like coffee and cigarette level of spirituality, right? Like you trade the love and light for, you understand that the darkness is just as valuable in some senses, because it really is freeing. There's something extremely freeing about it, and this is why I absolutely adore the book called Existential Kink. Hey, maybe I should see if we can get the author of that book on this podcast. That would be incredible. And existential kink is this process where you find, like if we think about the definition of kink, like the title is existential, our existence. If you find some kind of pleasure purely in the experience of existing, and in order to do that, you're going to have to embrace the darkness inside of you. And this is where the villain era stuff comes in, and all of those different pieces. And I forget, there was this really funny one meme. I can't remember. I can't share it. I don't know that I want to say that bad of a swear word on this podcast, but it's a see you next Tuesday. You just like, this is my, see you next Tuesday summer. And I think that there's something so freeing about just releasing this need to constantly be better. You can be better. When you fuck up, you can apologize to yourself and to other people. You can try to do things differently, but it doesn't mean that you need to be under a microscope. I think we all need to be more okay with looking stupid, with looking like bad, air quotes, bad people. The more willing I become to accept myself as crappy or, mediocre. Like, yeah, I used to die fearing that I was going to be mediocre in some way. And you can have high standards. You can aim for excellence. But the major issue here is the focus. Let me drill this home for you right now. If you are focused on what you don't want to be, you will perpetuate that. You will perpetuate the fear and doubt inside of you that you are being that. Every single belief you have is a self-fulfilling prophecy, where if you think that you doubt yourself, oh, I'm the type of person who doubts myself, or I'm not confident, or I don't know how to be truly authentic and vulnerable with other people, then you're going to actively look for information, because the pattern recognition is what the human brain is absolutely best for. So if you are telling yourself these stories about yourself, like, I'm this type of person, your brain will then actively seek out information that is going to confirm that belief. And then you get to reinforce the belief that I doubt myself. I suck because I doubt myself. And look, I just did it. I just did a masterclass today and I didn't do as well as I thought I should have done. And therefore, my confidence is not as high as I want it to be. And so I just reinforced my low confidence. Instead of focusing on what you want and who you want to be. I will say it again. You need to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Okay? So when it comes to remedying situations and relationships and healing, we need to focus on how we want it to be. If we want more lightheartedness, the focus can't be how do I clear out the heaviness? The focus has to be what would feel more lighthearted to me. If I want to feel more confident and I just did something that made me question myself and wonder if I was as good as I wanted to be, what I need to do is look for a frame and a perspective on that situation that makes me feel courageous. Oh, look at that. You haven't done a masterclass in a while. And the fact that you just hopped on there and you did it like that and you poured your soul out and you were willing to do that, and then you're not going to not do it again. You're going to do it again. You're not going to let this deter you, and you're not going to spiral into overthinking and then go around asking everybody who came if it was good. You are going to assume that the people who needed to hear what you had to say or take the gift that you had to offer and receive it exactly how you put it out there is who is going to receive it and feel it, and it's going to be the perfect thing for that person. But if you don't do it, if you let this cause you to spiral and cause you to focus on the thing you don't want to be, you're going to get stuck in that. So we cannot obsess with fixing. We cannot approach anything from a place of trying to fix it or figure it out. There is nothing to fix or figure out. There is space to improve, space to bring in more of what we want to do and want to be. Do you see the difference here? Do you hear the difference here? It's not saying that we throw our hands up and we go, I am not dealing with any of this anymore. I'm just going to be an asshole that sucks at stuff and become complacent and say, all right, whatever, you all are going to have to deal with me now. Just the way I am. No, it's not that. Maybe there is a little bit of it. Maybe that is freeing. Maybe that is the relief that you need to feel. But ultimately, it's really more so, how can I feel relief? How can I pop this pressure bubble that I've created for myself? How can I be more of who I am desiring to be? What would make me feel proud of myself? What have I done already that has made me feel proud of myself? What you focus on expands, guys. What you focus on expands. And when you live in how much you've already gained from whatever experience you've been through or whatever you have accomplished, you're always going to be more productive and gain more forward momentum than if you focus on the gap between where you are and where you think you're supposed to be, because that is made up. It's fully made up. Also, if we focus on the gain, we look back and we go, look at this and look at this and look at this. And I was a champion and I was a survivor and I figured it out. Look, it all worked out. You're literally rewriting the past, right? Because we can look back and we go, oh, I sucked so much. Da, 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 da. Or we go, I was resilient. When you rewrite the past, the story you're telling yourself about the past, it changes the future that unfolds before you, because you will always get more of what is, right? So do not focus on the things that exist that you don't want more of. Clean up what you don't want. Like, you can, set the boundaries and release and get rid, in a sense, of release. But it's easier to add more good. Even like if we're talking about diet, nutrition, fill up on the good stuff and stop focusing what you think you have to sacrifice. Just put more good in, and it will reduce the space available for what is undesired. I don't know how else I can explain it. I don't know how else I can reiterate it. I think I just said it in about 17 different ways, which is enough for today. Okay? So if you got yourself under a freaking microscope, stop it. Lift your head up. Go outside. Let the sun touch your face. Look around. Experience the world. Be present. And just be yourself experiencing the world. Quit spending so much time experiencing yourself. That doesn't mean you're disconnected from yourself. Connect to your inner voice, because she will tell you exactly what's what. And when I talk about inner voice, I don't mean the small animal brain inside of you. I mean the voice that comes from your soul, and you know the difference. I know you know the difference. I know you already know what's what. So, you better listen, okay? And if you want some help with this, you can always come and work with me. You can always send me a message on Instagram. I've got a intro audio course called Manifest on Cruise Control in my bio. If you're listening to this way after the fact, it may not be there anymore. But as of right now, in May, June 2026, there's a 6-part audio course that will run you through my exact method for returning home to yourself, which is the operating system to help you manifest on cruise control, because manifestation should really not be this forced process. It should be just the way that you live your life to allow the things that are meant to come to you. So I'm going to leave that for you here. Come send me a DM on the gram, share this, subscribe, tag me, spread the word, because I'm sure you know of somebody else that needs this kind of information regularly. If this is giving you value, bringing you value, I really have a really massive goal with this podcast to get it up to, top 1%. So if this is a mission that you're on to start freeing women from the clutches of perfectionism, then get on the train and help me amplify it. I love you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day today.